Hi everybody, it's Richard here again with another video, and today I've got a very special guest, none other than Iain from Ranking the Obscure. How you doing, Iain?
I'm doing very well, Richard, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Today we'll be taking a look at the Mike Chapman singles from the 1970s and the 1980s. Now, Mike Chapman, along with Nicky Chinn, although Nicky Chinn was more business partner, wrote so many hit singles for loads of different artists. They were really like the 1970s version of Stock, Aitken and Waterman, but they were far, far, far better. Were you familiar with Chinn and Chapman, Iain, before?
Yes, I mean, I grew up on Chinn and Chapman. There's so many. I mean, most of my songs are from the 70s. So it's when I was growing up. You know, to me, the bands like, you know, they recorded were like what kids like New Kids on the Block, One Direction today. That was us.
Yeah.
That was our era, wasn't it? It was merry, 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 merry times.
So what we'll be doing is Iain will be giving us his top 10 singles. And after his number 10, I'll do my number 10 and we'll go down to our number 1. And then at the end, we'll give 3 bubbling unders. However, I know what Iain's 10 are. Now, the reason being is if you watch Iain's channel, which Iain will tell you all about at the end of the video, Iain tends to put a picture at the top right-hand corner of the record that he's talking about. I show the actual record. I don't have the software to do that. So Iain gave me his 10. So I set myself a challenge to pick 10 that were not included on Iain's list. I'm very, very happy with them. There was a couple I had to take out. And also I am not allowing more than 2 songs per artist in the top 10, although with the bubbling unders, anything goes.
Yeah, I tried to pick different artists, but I had a list and no, I can't leave out that. I can't leave out that. And in the end, I just had to put them in.
Well, you could nearly do a top 10 sweet songs, really.
I have. I mean, I've done singles, I've done the albums. I mean, there's not much more I can do on sweet.
Okay, so if you'd like to start, Iain, with your number 10, and then I will show it.
Okay, well, my number 10, it's a band from Australia, where Mike Chapman's sort of origins are. New World, 1971. It got to number 6 over here, Tom Tom Turnaround. I just love that song. Also, it appeared on Sweet's first album, of course.
Right, that's the first time I think I actually heard it, was Sweet's album.
And I think Sweet do a fantastic version of it.
They do. It's a very sort of acoustic. It's almost like a hippie sound to it, I think. The lyrics itself are about a guy that I think he's going off to war, and the wife says don't, and he goes off to war. He comes back and she's shacked up with another bloke.
Oh no, it's quite a sad story, isn't it? But it's just typical Mike Chapman lyrics. They're so catchy.
Yeah. Oh, it's a really, really good song, and deserves to be in the top 10. Well, my number 10 is from 1978 and a number 6 single. By the way, yours got to number 6 in 71, so it did well. It's a top 10 hit. And it's Exile, and I better turn that around, actually.
Oopsie doopsie.
It's a song called Kiss You All Over. Now, this is a soft rock song, and I will admit this got into the top 10 because one of your songs was originally in my top 10. I had to take it out. So it's got a really catchy chorus, and there's a really nice little guitar bit at the end of the chorus. But it does sound like 1978. It has like a dated 70s song. It is very soft rock. But as I say, it got top 10. It did well. And
yeah, I do remember it. And I was so shocked to actually find out that it was Mike Chapman, to be quite honest. Yeah. But when you listen to the lyric, you go, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was one I did listen to.
I honestly, I don't know anything about Exile because that.
No, I don't. It's now prompt me to now. I shall go and have a look at Exile and see if there's anything we can do on them.
I know Mike Chapman did write a few other songs for them, but that is the best of the bunch, and it gets in because of another song.
Okay.
So, that's number 10. Your number 9?
Okay, my number 9 is another of my favourite bands from that time, but I've got a little story to tell you about this band. It's from 1978, got to number 17 in the UK. It's A Few Dollars More by the brilliant Smokey.
There we go.
Now, my story with Smokey is I've got a claim to fame. When this song was out, we used to sing it in school, in class. Mm-hmm. And my teacher at the time says, "Oh, you like that song?" I says, "Yeah, we love it." She says, "Well, my brother is Chris Norman." We went, "Oh!" That's my claim to fame. I was taught by Chris Norman's sister.
I think he is a fantastic singer. I don't know his solo material. I think it might be a little bit schmaltzy, but his Smokey material and a lot of the album cuts, he's a really good songwriter along with the drummer Pete Spencer.
Yeah,
a lot of those album cuts are really, really good.
I've been listening to them because that's another show that's coming up on the channel at some stage, the Smokey discography. So I have been listening to a little bit of Smokey, but yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, I had bought the Smokey single, not that version. Ever since I've become a record collector, I've wanted to get the picture sleeves, but I bought the original on the Rack label way back when I was 12 years old, and I had the Smokey's Greatest Hits, so I was a bit of a Smokey fan.
Yeah, so, I mean, my teacher at the song says, "How come you like Smokey?" Because you like a lot of all that real heavy stuff. I says, "I just love the sound."
His voice is great. Something happened. He had a bit of an issue with his health, and it left his voice, the croaky voice that he has now.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it really, really works. It's almost like a Rod Stewart voice.
Yeah, it is. It's a terrific song.
Okay, my number 9 is Mud, The Secrets That You Keep.
Oh, that's a rare one, isn't it?
Now, this is a number 3 hit in 1975. This is the follow-up to Lonely This Christmas, where Les Gray is doing his real Elvis impression. And the tempo is a little bit quicker than Lonely This Christmas, but it's almost nearly a carbon copy of it. But I love this, I really do. And if you actually watch a video from back in the day, Rob Davis is wearing these flares. They're black flares. It's almost as if he's got 2 dresses on, one on each leg, because I have never seen flares ever.
No, I know that. I've seen that. It is
unbelievable. You don't even concentrate on the song. You're just looking at the flares thinking, how on earth have you the nerve? But I think this is a really, really brilliant song, and it deserved to get top 3 from 1975.
Yeah, when I did my Metro ranking on Mud, that was hovering.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I put it in my honourable mentions, but it was a song that with Mud, you could have a 50 and you'd still miss ones out. It is a terrific song. Mud was just one of my favourite bands of that time.
I know, I loved them as well. Like, we had the Greatest Hits album and a few of the other singles as well. Like, my brother was my brother's 4 years older than me, so he was able to buy the records. I was able to get a few of them, but really no albums, the odd single here and there.
Yeah, my dad was never into Mud, but one of my best mates' dad was. So we used to go around there and nick his singles.
So that's my number 9.
Okay, my number 8 is a band that weren't around for too long. 1978, got to number 3 in the UK, one of 2 hit singles, and it's Race's Lay Your Love on Me.
I don't have the single. I thought I did, but I had the other one running around Sue. But I do have the album, and it is on this album. It's the first track on side 2. I only recently got this, actually, about a couple of months ago. It's a really good album. It's really good fun.
I had it on back in the day when I was a poor kid. Someone recorded it for me, and the tape got broke. Like you, I've been trying to hunt for it, and I will get it one day.
That was the only album they released, actually.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing it as one of my album reviews, as a one-off album, because I know I know it's on Spotify, so I can listen to it, which is great. But like you, I want it in my thing because I've just brought a new record player, so I'm really want to get some more stuff. Yeah, I love Lay Your Love on Me. That catchy keyboard, that and the little dance I used to do.
It just drives the whole song, so it does.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And I don't know if you've watched, we know that we had a little table on it at school when this was out. And again, it was one we used to stand there and do that little silly dance. But it's such a catchy tune, and it's great Mike Chapman lyrics.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Right, my number 8, and this got in as well because of one of yours. It was a toss between this and yours, but since yours was in the top 10, and it is the sweet Teenage Rampage. This is fantastic. Now, I'll tell you about this. This came out in early 1974. Now, you probably know I'm a huge T-Rex fan. Now, there were 3 singles in the chart at the same time, all with the title Teenage. There was Teenage Rampage by Sweet, Teenage Dream by T-Rex, which I actually bought as a kid, believe it or not, and Teenage Lament 74 by Alice Cooper. All 3 are brilliant, and I've always said that Teenage Dream was my favorite by T-Rex, but I'm kidding myself. This is the best. This is absolutely brilliant. It's so rousing. The one thing I will say is I was never that keen on the we want sweet bit at the start. I always preferred if it had started without that. And then in the 90s, there was a compilation album called Ballroom Hits, and they took out that we want sweet bit. It doesn't sound the same. So I'm going back to saying it's perfect the way it is. Don't touch it. And it's got one of the catchiest choruses ever. So that gets
my... and I mean, the Mick Tucker, I mean, what a drummer. He was the best fantastic drummer for that era. He hit them drums so hard.
Yeah. And a lot of the drummers of the day acknowledged that Mick Tucker was one of the best drummers. It's not just the fans of Sweet. Your John Bonhams and all realized that Mick Tucker was an absolutely fantastic drummer.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, even John Coglan of Status Quo said that he was a phenomenal drummer.
Yeah. And that song got to number 2 in 74. So that's my number 8.
Okay. Oh, and my number 7 then is a track by Murd. I know we've talked about them already, but they did make some fantastic stuff. We go into 1973, got to number 4, and it's that one that's Sweet, Rejected, and it's Dynamite. Oh,
that is a dynamite track, actually.
Rob Davis's riff on that just blows you away.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's a little bit different for Mud, because if you think of Mud with your Tiger Feets and all the rest of it, this is a hard glam rock song, which Mud never really did. But this is magnificent, and it would have suited the Sweet as well. Definitely.
I think they've done a good version of it as well. I can't understand why they didn't. They rejected that one, because it is a brilliant track.
Yeah,
and I think Andy Scott would have played that riff exactly the same as Rob.
Exactly the same. And Brian Connolly's voice. And the thing about Sweet is they were really good at harmonizing as well. Their backing vocals were so underrated. Queen borrowed a hell of a lot from Sweet with those backing vocals.
And Def Leppard in later.
Yes, exactly. So no, fantastic choice. That nearly made my top 10. It was a choice between that and another one, but we'll come to that shortly. Okay, what did that? Got to number 4 in 73, so another top 5 hit. My number 7 is Smokey and I'll Meet You at Midnight.
Oh, that's a great track.
I absolutely adore this. I even like the little sort of French speaking or singing part at the start. But the strings in this are really good, and it's not overblown with the backing vocals as well. I love it when they bring the chorus down and the backing vocals are actually singing the chorus very silently before Chris Norman belts it out again. Magnificent song. Wasn't on any of the original albums. It was a standalone single, and it got to number 11 only in 1976, but I absolutely love it. And it deserves to get my number 7.
Yeah, that was another band that the harmonies were, they could do their harmonies.
Oh, they were brilliant at it. They were brilliant, especially with Alan Silson, whose voice was a higher register, and it made the backing vocals sound even better.
Yeah, very underrated band, I think, Smokey are. Very underrated.
So you're number 6 then.
Right, this is an absolute gem, and one that people probably won't remember unless you're of a certain age. Mm-hmm. We're going to 1974 here. Number 8. The band are called The Arrows, and the song is Touch Too Much.
No picture sleeve, I'm afraid, but doesn't that take you back in time? Just see that record bag and that record label.
Yeah, one of the most iconic record labels, I think, the 70s.
Yeah,
Touch Too Much. It's just a great rock and roll track, and of course, it features Mr. I Love Rock and Roll, Alan Merrill.
Exactly, and a lot of people don't realize that was actually a B-side of one of their singles. Yes. It wasn't the B-side of Touch Too Much, by the way. I just checked. But yeah, have you heard the Arrows version of I Love Rock and Roll?
Yeah, I think it's as good as Joan Jett.
No, I don't. But have you heard Britney Spears' version of I Love Rock and Roll?
Yes, I have, and I don't want to talk about that. It is a pile of junk.
Okay, well, I don't know. There's something about it I quite like. Maybe it's just...
It's a guilty pleasure. Everyone has a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. I remember the Arrows had a TV show on as well in the 70s.
Yes, my friend Lee was saying about it because, he's a big T-Rex fan as well. And he was saying that it's on YouTube, the Arrows did the same sort of thing as T-Rex. And he said, and the Arrows did go on T-Rex and vice versa. A bit of genius by Mickey Most. Yeah,
it's a really, really good song. Again, it's forgotten about in the Chapman repertoire.
Yeah, it's a great song. I did have the single, but I think it got broke, and I'm still looking for it.
You can pick it up. It'll be 10p somewhere.
Yeah, certainly will be.
Okay, my number 6 then. That's correct then. Yeah, number 6. Yeah. And this is a female, and I'm sure you know who it is. And it actually sounds like a Smokey song. And it's Susie Quattro, If You Can't Give Me Love.
Oh, what a great song.
That is an absolutely fantastic song. It does have that Smokey feeling to it. And shortly after this, she did a collaboration with Chris Norman, Stumbling In, which was an absolute worldwide hit, apart from in Britain. It didn't make the top 40. It actually got to number 3, I think, in the United States. But anyway, this is absolutely, it's one of those songs that you just have to sing along to. It's got a really good guitar refrain in it. And I saw her live about 6 years ago now. She played it and she was brilliant.
Yeah, I've never seen her live, but I know there's a really good concert of hers that she did in Scandinavia. And it's done a few years ago, and it's absolutely terrific. And she can still sing songs.
Oh, she can. She was wearing her leather catsuit as well, and she looked fantastic in it. And she says she can still get into the leather catsuit she had for Can the Can back in 1973. So she's looked after herself.
I mean, she was a great actress as well.
I know she was like Leather Tuscadero or something in Happy Days.
She was in a Midsummer Murders as well. She played.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yes, she played. I think Tom Barnaby's favourite band. She was the lead singer, and she got electrocuted on stage.
Right. Well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting into the top 5.
Well, this was tough. Top 5's always tough on any ranking, I think. But we are staying with Miss Quattro. one of her #1 singles from 1974, and it's the fantastic Devilgate Drive.
Brilliant.
Fond memories at school from this.
Yeah.
This was when, in my lower school, my primary school, and we used to sit on little tables together, but we loved it on that table, and we used to sing this all the time. We just used to get down in Devilgate down. It's just one of Mike Chapman's finest.
Yeah. Did you ever do the little dance that you see in the video?
Oh yes, of course we did.
I always thought it was so awkward looking whenever the drummer came from behind the drums to do the little dance. It was
it was brilliant. I mean, there was a girl in our class that used to join in, and she did the Susie bit, and we did the rest of the band.
There's two videos for it. There's the color one, but there's a black and white one, which I actually really think is brilliant. The black and white video. You do get little dances as well, but it's not quite as corny. But no, excellent choice, and deserved to be #1 in '74.
Brilliant track. It makes me feel, that does actually make me feel old. I remember that #1.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, and you go, God, if I can remember songs that far back, I can remember songs going back to 1972. But first album I actually remembered was Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel, which my dad played it to death.
Yeah. You see, my mother bought the Simon Garfunkel's Greatest Hits around 72 or so, and she played it to death. So, I'm telling you, well, that's nearly 50 years ago.
It keeps in there, doesn't it?
I know, it does. Right, my #5, and it's the second time these guys appear, and it's the first time I think Les Gray does his Elvis impression, and it's the song Rocket. And this is one heck of a single. It is quite a rocker. It's about, Abigail Rocket Blast, a girl.
Yeah.
But there's shalalas in this, and whenever I hear a few shalalas, it always wins me over. My brother bought the single way back in '74. It's on the Greatest Hits, and it got to #6 in '74. I absolutely love this. It starts off with a more or less spoken introduction, but it is a real rocker, and it's probably the last of the glam rocker.
Yeah, it is one of them iconic songs from Mud. I think it's when it comes on. I've got the compilation disc, and you put it on when that one's on, you just crank it up.
Yeah, I know. Okay, you're #4 then.
My #4, again, it's another band we have mentioned already. This is from 1979. Got to #2. We're going back to Racy and Some Girls.
There you go. This is the one that I wanted to include, and I had to put in the Exile, Kiss You All Over. Just to let you know.
It's just that piano start, that. Again, Mike Chapman, his best writing. He knew how to write that catchy chorus. He gives it to the band, and they interpret what he wants beautifully. It really is it's better than Lay Your Love on Me, I think. Some Girls.
I think so. Catchy. It's a real fun party song. That's really all it is. It's a real good fun party song.
Yeah, if they put that on at discos now, or even they put that on and people get up and boogie to it.
Yeah.
They're all our age, but they're all get up there and give it large.
We all have heart attacks at the end of it.
Yeah, we want to sit down, but even if you're sitting down, you have to tap your feet. It's just got that hook.
Yeah. Oh, I love it as well, but I couldn't include it. My #4 is another rocker, and it's Suzi Quatro's 48 Crash. This was the follow-up to Can the Can. I think this is actually better than Can the Can. Again, my brother had this as a single. It got to #3 in '73. Absolutely brilliant song. It's actually quite long. It's over 4 minutes long, this single. You don't think it. And no, it's Suzi's best rocker in my view, and deserved to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think, but for me, behind Devilgate Drive, it's 48 Crash. It's a far better single than Can the Can, although that is brilliant in its own right. but this one's got a more catchy groove.
Yeah.
And that bass line she plays on it is just terrific.
Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. Okay, you're number 3 then.
Again, a band we keep talking about, but obviously it's one of our favourite bands. We're going back to Mud, the number 1 smash from '74. Tiger Feet.
Yeah.
What I remember about this is the Christmas video on Top of the Pops. Rob had them huge baubles instead of earrings.
Yes, exactly. I know.
No, he didn't clump around and they fall off, but there's just something about it.
You know,
the opening riff and that guitar solo.
Maybe it's been a little bit sexist, but it's a real bloke song because, with the dancing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. A really, really good, fun party song. I love it. And
yeah, I think even the younger generation like that one as well when it comes on at family discos. I mean, I know anniversaries and that. I know in our family, when the youngers get up and start giving it all that. So yeah. I think that's a lot of the adults' fault. Told them, watch this.
No, I think it was the best-selling single of '74. It was the biggest selling of that year.
Yeah, because they were up against Slade.
Yeah, I know. Well, my number 3 is my favorite Sweet single. That's Hellraiser from 1973, the follow-up to Blockbuster. Number 2 hit single. What a riff, what vocals, and I always love that little vocal that Steve Priest does, the little weird one. This is heavy as hell, so it is. This is really a heavy song, but it's catchy as hell. Yeah. I absolutely love it, and I guess my number 3.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just a classic. So we're keeping on with Sweet now.
Yes.
Obviously, it's probably my favourite band of that era, of my school era. Going into a song from '73, number 2, The Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah, there was a choice between this and Teenage Rampage for me. But
that start, Mick Tucker again.
Yeah.
And then Brian just saying to the band, are you ready? I just like Steve's, and then it's bang, straight into it. It's no messing about with Sweet. It's just brilliant stuff.
So my number 2, I've used up all my Sweet. So I've only used one Smokey. My number 2 is Lay Back in the Arms of Someone. Now, this was a number 12 hit in '77. And the bit I love about this the most, believe it or not, is the bass line. I think this has got one of the most melodic bass lines by Terry Utley, who passed away about 6 months ago. And it's such a good song. There is a little hint of country in this. Just Newton does a cover version of it, and it's quite good. But this, to me, is the best song that they've ever done. Smokey, that is, and I absolutely love it. And again, it was one that didn't feature on any of the original albums.
No, I totally agree with you. I think Terry was a fantastic bass player.
Mm.
He kept him and Pete on the drums. They kept that engine room of Smokey tight, one of the tightest in the business. I really believe that.
I know. They were all very, very good musicians, Smokey.
Yeah.
But they learned, they were playing in the '60s, so it's experience, really. They played all the working man's clubs, and they just got better and better and better.
Yeah, proper band, not these go on not go on a TV show and have 5 minutes of fame.
So I'll let you have a little think here, because I've used 2 Sweet, I've used 2 Mud, I've used 2 Susie, and I've used 2 Smokey, and I haven't got to my number 1 yet.
I know. I am getting quite intrigued about this.
You will be absolutely disgusted, but anyway, it's your number 1. What do you go for?
I've gone with my second Sweet song here. It is actually my favourite song from the '70s. Another number 1 from the band from '73, Blockbuster.
With that siren at the start.
Oh, it just totally blows you away. My favourite bit, actually, is Steve Priest. We haven't just got a clue what to do. It's just, and that I always love that video they did at Christmas on top of the pops when he's got that little hat and he gets like that and does it like that. It's cheeky. And again, Mick Tucker on the kettle drums. That just adds to it. It's just something else. That bubba-da-bum, bubba-da-bum. Very glam bubblegum rock, but boy, does it echo through your ears.
I know. And it's got exactly the same riff as David Bowie's The Gene Genie.
Yes.
Well, Sweet was at number 1, David Bowie was at number 2. But the actual riff itself, and you've probably worked this out because I think you did, or you were working on a Yardbirds video. It's actually the riff that the Yardbirds used for an old blues song called I'm Your Man.
On Your Man, yeah, it is. Yeah.
So
it's just down.
Recycled. It's recycled, but it works so well. No, excellent choice. We had that single when we were kids as well. Okay, my number 1 choice is a bit of a surprise. I've used up all the Sweet, I've used up all Mud, I've used up all Susie and Smokey, but this would be number 1 anyway. And it's Agnieszka Falskog, Wrap Your Arms Around Me from 1983. A monster hit that got to number 44 in the summer of 83, but it is the most gorgeous song that she has ever done. It's better than anything that Frida's done, and I think it's better than anything that Bjorn and Benny ever did after ABBA. It's beautiful. It's got a real summery feel to it, and it really takes me back to that long, hot summer of 83, and her vocals are magnificent. So that is my number 1.
I've never heard that, so I'll be going to check that one out.
It's a love song now. It's not a hard rocker, but it is a love song.
But you're right about that summer of 83. It was hot and sunny.
Sunny, I loved it. 17
yeah, my last summer holiday from school.
That's right.
I was listening to Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and Status Quo, and Cozy Powell by the river.
Well, I was listening to, I was still David Bowie and anything that was in the charts at that time. So, okay, well, we do quickly run through our 3 bubbling unders.
My first one is Mickey. Tony Basil from 1982, got to number 2 in the charts. I just love the quirkiness of it, and I didn't realise it was a Mick Chapman song. So,
and actually, it was originally a racy song, Kitty, from their album.
That's why I probably recognised it in the day.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, good choice. I was nearly going to put that in my top 10, but I saw your list, so I couldn't get it.
Yeah, and my next one, it's one of them songs that Mick Chapman wrote that 2 bands have recorded, originally done by New World, and then Smokey done it when it was released. Yes, it's Living Next Door to Alice, released 72, only charted in Australia, but Smokey's, of course, got to number 5. Great song. Obviously, we had the Rude version later, but it's still a great song.
It is. I love it. I love the production of it. I love the start of it with the backing vocals. It's just perfectly produced. And I do love the Rude version as well, which I believe was originated in somewhere in Ireland down south in a pub. And then it just spread everywhere. So, and your final choice?
My final choice, another Susie Quattro, but we can't. Yeah, from 1979, number 11, She's in Love with You.
Absolutely brilliant. And I would have picked this myself as well for bubbling unders, but you got there in front of me. But this is magnificent. It's a real galloping type song, catchy, and there is a synth behind it as well, which makes it really good. And it sounds from around 79. It doesn't sound like glam rock. And yeah, fantastic song. Yes. Well, my 3, and I'm going to stick with Susie and Can the Can. Absolutely brilliant. Number 1 hit from 1973. My brother bought the single. I liked it then. I love it now. But this is brilliant, and I saw her live in concert doing this, and she extended it, and everybody had to sing along. You know, she wasn't taking, everybody had to get off their seats. She wasn't letting anybody sit down during this.
Absolutely.
My other one is Smokey's very first hit single, and is If You Think You Know How to Love Me, which is a very gentle song, but the beautiful acoustic guitar, really nice harmony vocals. And this was covered by Pat Benatar on her debut album. And it's a very good version as well, but this got to number 3 in the charts, and it's absolutely amazing. And the one I'm going to pick is Mud Hypnosis. Now, this is a weird choice. I had bought this in 73, not this version. And I remember going into the shop, it was Graham's record shop, and they played it for me, and it sounded so good on the record player in the shop. It's different. It's not your Tiger Feet. It's almost got like a scary feel to it. It's like a, you know, they're Crazy was the first single, which was like a Madness feel, not Madness the band, but the sound was sort of shrieking madness. This is very, very similar as well, but this is a better song, and it's got a really good sort of guitar, deep guitar riff to it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I've got that on not on a Mud's Greatest Hits, but I've got it on an album called A's and B's Rarities.
Yes.
And I was totally shocked because I wasn't expecting that. But you're right, I think why it's good is because it's different.
Yes, it is. It is very different, and it's on the greatest hits. It got to number 16 in the chart, so it didn't do too bad.
No, that's not too bad.
Can the Can Said got to number 1, and If You Think You Know How to Love Me got to number 3. So that's it, Iain. That's a look through Mike Chapman top 20s or top 10s. There is actually 26 fantastic songs, which you might be able to, wouldn't be able to squeeze on one CD, but you definitely get the top 10s on there, and that would be one hell of a playlist, really.
Oh, I could put it on the playlist on my channel for people to go and have a look at.
You could do indeed, yes. Please do.
Yes. Just before we finish, I mean, about Pat Benatar, Mike Chapman obviously co-produced that first album. And there's a couple of other songs. There's one more smoky song they did, and that's The Heat of the Night.
That's correct, yep.
And she did a cover of a Sweet song, which she did fantastically. No, You Don't, from Sweet Fanny Adams.
Right, that's the one that, who is it, Steve Priest takes lead vocals on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, that's right. I've got that album, in fact. Yeah, that's a very good album, that Pat Benatar album.
Yes, yeah. I'm ranking her albums on Tuesday, by the way. So,
all right. My favorite Pat Benatar song, however, always has been "Shadows of the Night," which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah. Okay, talking of your channel, would you like to tell everybody a little bit about your channel, where to find you, subscribe, hit that bell button, ring a ding ding, etc., and what content you do, etc., etc.?
Well, I think most people know that I'm a bit of a rocker at heart and progressive rock, but I do like other music, and that's one thing that's different about Ranking the Obscure, that we don't just cover rock music. 1 minute we're doing Depeche Mode, and the next minute we're doing Megadeth. Different ends of the scale. We cover everything. I think with even some of the albums we go into the 2000s, but most of it is from the 50s up to the 80s, especially with Retro Ranking, which is a show that we dedicate to the singles. I always do my top 10 singles or some specials. We've done a few specials like Status Quo, Rolling Stone, Sweet. Also, we do album artwork that no one seems to, there's 1 or 2 people that do, but we do album artwork for the bands. I'll rank the album artwork and appreciate that sort of thing. One of the other live album rankings, I love live albums. And on Fridays, we dedicate the album ranking purely to live albums. People always forget them when we're not ranking them. You know, they deserve as much love as the studio stuff.
Yeah.
I do obviously new album reviews, got a few coming up as it's getting rather busy again. But we also do one-off albums. Okay, we'll take it racy because we've spoke to me about today. Made one album and that was it. So that's the sort of thing we do. Look at classic albums as well, from some of the great bands as well. So that's basically it. We do a live stream as well on a Thursday night at 8 p.m. But we haven't done one this week because we're doing it tonight, because today is Ranking the Obscure's first birthday.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Didn't think I'd be this far. I didn't expect this after just 1 year. About 50 off 500 subscribers and 80,000 views on the channel.
Very good. Very good. Well deserved. I will say that if anyone thinks that I am prolific with my content, I'm nothing compared to Iain. Iain's surpassed the amount of videos I've done, nearly doubled. So you are very prolific. You've usually got about 4 or 5 a week, or even more.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just quickly go through next week. We've got an album ranking of Cream. Centerfold is the classic album. Centerfield classic album. Ladies' Day is Pat Benatar and Toya. Kansas on Wednesday, the big marathon one where we did over 14 albums. Battle of the Bands is Roxy Music T-Rex. Got Megadeth covers, UFO Live, and on the new album this week is Road to Eden, the new album from Dare.
So you're kept busy anyway.
Yeah, I am kept busy. It started off as a therapeutic thing and helped me through some bad times like most people have during COVID. And it's near enough a full-time job, but I love it.
Yeah, so do I.
If it weren't for you guys supporting me, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, so everybody head over to Iain's channel, Ranking the Obscure, subscribe and hit that notification button.
Yeah, I'm sure Richard will put it in the link.
I will. I'll put a link below. I'll put a link below. And okay, again, Iain, thank you very much for this. This has been great fun. It's been great fun preparing for it as well. Going back to all these old songs, I've had a hell of a time. It was fantastic. Okay, so everybody, that's me for now, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye for now.